In a world where production numbers reign supreme, one man on a mission. Verbal garbage.
What's up, everybody? Another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you hot and live. Today we got a very special guest. My boy Matt Sarmiento is on the line. Matt, if you don't mind telling the people a little bit about yourself, what you're doing right now with your transition to work, and just a little bit about yourself, brother. Let's go.
Okay, so Matt Sarmiento, I'm the owner of Sarmiento Motorsports LLC. We've been working on that for a good little while. You know, it's been a growing progress. It's exciting. It's always on the move. So we build high performance race ATV engines and dirt bike engines. Bike setups. The progress is on and on. Also rider support as well. We have a race team.
Dang.
And it's a lot of stuff. A lot of sponsors backing us up. Thank God. And it's racing. Racing's tough. There's no way around it. So racing's off the hook. As far as that's job number one. Job number two.
Dope, dude.
And like you were saying, transitioning, which you have some knowledge of that as well. Recently, so I've been for 20 years, literally, turning a wrench to make a paycheck. So, my roots go into mechanics very long. So I've been a master tech mechanic for years now, and just recently, I've been working at the sheriff's department for about 7 years. With that, so 2 jobs, one for some
Crazy
good income, and the other one for the insurance, like we've talked about before. You gotta have balance.
Amazing.
You can't put all your eggs in one basket. So but insurance is pretty important and stuff, and that's the benefits are good. Well, they closed out my position there, so now I'm trying something completely new, way out of my comfort level. So I'm actually right now working in communications. So it's pretty intense. It's pretty fast paced. It's wild, but I'm actually digging it. It's a new challenge. So now I'm like, you know what? This, I've heard a lot of people saying, one door closing, a new one opening, and this might be it. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
To bring more balance to my life, in certain things and aspects, and this might be a whole new thing. I don't know. I figured let's just grab it by the horns and let's go for it.
Awesome. What's up, guys? You've heard me talk about out-of-body experiences, a little mushroom trip, a little bong pack here and there. Well, luckily for you, you can now experience these legally. Astral Projection and Lucid Dreaming by Vince Field is a book out where you can read and delve more into the world of out-of-body experiences and lucid dreaming. Vince has got 20 years experience of doing these crazy, wild things that I have to take mushrooms or smoke 4,000 bong packs of to experience. Meanwhile, my boy uses his mind and his thoughts to take him to dimensions and planets never seen before in person by humans. Check it out on Amazon if you're interested. It's definitely something I'd enjoyed. Astral Projection and Lucid Dreaming by Vince Field. Check it out now. I mean, so many directions we can go off that, how you started turning wrenches, or my main question right away is when they came to you with that position being eliminated, did they offer you other jobs in a similar position in other departments, or was it kind of just like, hey, it's communications or nothing?
There's a couple others, but, I was looking at, the pay, the times, all this stuff. And I was like, you know what, pay, it goes a long ways too, And I was thinking the challenge to communications, because not everybody's cut out for it. I was like, you know what? Let me go for it. I mean, so far I've been passing, whatever tests they've been throwing at me and stuff. And it's pretty cool learning a lot of police legal sciences. So I think it's cool, trying to, expand more in the mind and stuff like that. You want to learn more, soak in more,
Hell yeah.
And still, be able to be, resourceful, and also still my mechanics, because I've already seen where I've had things where my mechanic mind has helped me as well, to work through processes of things, with people as well. And I had a good experience today with a good buddy, I had a tire training today, at least how to train how to do TPMS,
Was this for Sarmiento Motorsports, or was this for your new job?
It was to help out people who were, so I just did it as a good faith kind of deal.
So someone just called you up and said, hey, I need help with this.
Well, they're the tire vendor for the sheriff's department, and they're going to start doing the tires for them, but they didn't have the tools or nothing like that. And the actual knowledge of, TPMS training there. And I was like, yeah, man. And they hit me up like, hey, would you help us? I was like, dude, I'm doing some errands, bro. So I'll swing on by, and actually did a couple of demos and showed a couple of the guys. But you know what, I look at it as, that was on my time, and as, cause I've come to know these guys pretty good and work hand in hand with them back when I was in the shop, if I help them, maybe they might help me in something else in one day, and that's true. You don't know.
Absolutely.
it's good to have good contacts and stuff. So, you never know. Or
No.
what if a job opportunity presents with that has benefits too, because Sarmiento Motorsports is awesome. It just doesn't have benefits. It pays bills great, but it doesn't have benefits like that,
Yeah, for sure, bro. But
family health insurance.
passion's the most important thing. Like that's with me. I'm not making any money doing this, but this is something I'm so passionate about. I'm having fun. I'm just growing and trying to do my best. Like I take inspiration from you. I go on your YouTube channel and Sarmiento Motorsports. For those of you who want to check it out, it's got like POV, ATV videos showing you how to do different things. It's freaking awesome. Even for someone like me who doesn't know shit, I've really enjoyed his videos. But yeah, no, I see how many subscribers you got. And it's just cool. And I've been talking to people on Reddit and all these guys that are similar. We have these passions we're trying to grow and do for fun. So major salute to you. How long has Sarmiento Motorsports been going?
I would say, so we started with Sarmiento Motorsports. I want to say it's like 13, 14 years ago. Like
Wow.
It started off super, super small. Like,
sure, dude.
Like
literally in a garage, I'm sure.
Dude, in a trailer, bro.
Let's go, baby.
Seriously, in a 6x12 trailer. No joke. In the back of a duplex. Legit.
Dang.
Legit. That's legitimate.
What was it? Just one ATV or something you just started working on, or like how did
one at a time here and there? And like me and my wife, we first had gotten married, a few years back from that. And
high school sweethearts, or
we known each other forever. So I guess you could almost say that. Yeah, she got mad at me.
You had that kind of vibe, dog. Yep.
She got mad at me because I graduated school a year early. So she said, "You're not going to be at school with me." So she was kind of mad at me for a while, but
I'm sure she
saying,
that, right?
She
wound up with the winner, dog. No regrets, homie.
I said, no, it's two way for sure, because she's a big support as far as that. Like literally, a lot of people don't, a lot of credit to Mrs. Sarmiento there, because like when people place orders or whatever like that, like let's say for their for a Vortex programming, and that's what I'm saying. The Sarmiento Motorsports has broadened out so much. I mean, we've done tuning worldwide, literally, for people. We've had people sending it, especially in the middle of when the COVID hit, in the middle of the pandemic and everything was locked down. I had people sending their Vortex from Israel, Australia, Germany, for flash tuning and stuff like that. It has been awesome. As I run my own dyno.
For us ignorant ones, because myself and Vortex, what are we talking? Are we talking the old school football that whistles through the air? You doing repairs on those, or?
All right. So right quick, a Vortex is a standalone ECU for a dirt bike or an ATV. So that's pretty big. It's a big thing, especially fuel injection, carburetor. That's just junk that's been out the door. So who uses that? That's old school. We're in our era now. So fuel injection, timing, and literally timing is everything. That's exactly the slogan on the Vortex box. And it's the truth, because, now with the type of technology we have, there's no reason we cannot pinpoint exactly at what gear, what RPM, what TPS, what engine load we can get the best power for the rider, and that's big, especially in racing. I mean, it's a huge thing. So when a rider can have the maximum and smooth, and I try to shoot for smoothest transitional power, but for that engine to be developing power, for a rider, because dude, it can make or break. It's all up to how much of this or this the rider wants to give. It's just all up to that person's level. So as long as the rider is there equipped with it, that's the most important thing. Like this year, one of my riders, for us, it was a first that we had a rider going to Pro-Am and ATV Nationals, and it's a pretty big thing. It's some of the fastest guys across the country, even worldwide, that's a step just below pro class, but their times are very close, just having the endurance to race pro class. Yeah. So the times are incredible. I mean, these guys are fast. And our very first race in Daytona, our guy, he pulled the start, unfortunately he didn't make a turn, early on in the race, but he still made it to qualifying, because this is a supercross style race, what they're used to doing a 2 moto format. So this is elimination, and he made it through the heat race to go to the main. So the heat race is just as important as the main race. So for us, this year's been like I said, every year's more and more and more, and it's awesome. it's incredible. It's been a growing thing, and I do like to continue growing in knowledge, and that's why I'm also looking at this other thing with my other job as well too, to keep on learning and, be a sponge and try to learn more, Well, you don't want to be dud, only a dud,
so many directions I can go with that there. Like, let's go back to the new job real quick. Communications, obviously people listening now can tell you're skilled. You're a good talker. You're good. You come on when you used to work a little bit, turning wrenches, you come on the truck, bartering, always get you the bottom dollar deal. You're skilled with that. So did you ever have any jobs before this, like bartending, serving tables, selling in any capacity before this, or is this literally the first time since being a mechanic you've been kind of dealing with people?
I mean, I've always dealt with people because
You know what I mean, though, right? Like,
yeah. Back in the day, back in my jitterbug days, no,
check it.
I mean, I'd have to say, yeah, like literally my late teens, because I got out of school early, out of high school early. I worked for Walmart, no joke. So I got
Yeah,
17%,
boy.
yeah, bro.
All right, real
And I
quick,
went my way, you know.
between you and I, the self-checkout line has been a little generous to me at Walmart. We'll leave it at that. Continue.
well, well, this was way before self-checkout, bro, you know. So like this is a minute ago, bro, because I ain't as young as I used to be, but hey, still gotta, live it up, have fun.
That hairline's still looking young, my dude. Don't you worry about a thing, homeboy. Look at that.
Telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Them listeners only. My boy's got that crisp shape up.
That's it, bro. I said my barber, he could do a serious edge. So he's like, but you gotta have a good airline for a good edge. Like, there you go. My man Israel Mendoza, he's the man. So he's been fading me up for a minute, but yeah, no, I mean, I feel like my people skills have maybe not it's been always well, so to speak.
Definitely.
And then also in the automotive world, especially too, like you got to talk with people and whatnot. Because before, just let's rewind the clocks a little bit. I used to go way back in the day with my dad, and like in the summers and work automotive with my dad. So that's where I learned automotive. My dad's been doing it like dude, since like bro, back in the day.
Shout out Pablo.
Yeah, my dad, Mr. Sarmiento, Pablo. He already retired, so just this year, so good for him.
Congrats.
Seriously, so he's enjoying the retirement life right now. He's like pretty nice. So he's always been active. Yeah, my dad's always been super active and came from the old school, and I can appreciate my dad's always evolved as the automotive industry has evolved too. So it's an evolving culture, it's
kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
if you get stuck in your own ways, you'll just get stuck.
You get run over.
Yep, absolutely.
You have to be growing. So this is a constant thing. And then that's what I've been saying. I've seen it with myself, So yeah, like you're saying, I have worked a little bit with other people, also in the automotive world, so I had to have a lot of face to face with people. And then, that job changed. And then I started getting in the automotive world, literally after Walmart.
Like what were you doing at Walmart? Were you like stocking shelves, or you were checking people out, or I guess you probably did everything, right?
Dude, I did everything. Dude, no joke. I started as a cart pusher. I was inside checking people out, the checkout lane, that. Then I got into stock, but then I got into basically where I would just work whatever store projects, whatever. So I'd go from store remodels, doing all kind of stuff, then training people how to, use equipment like, a forklift, scissor lift, things like that,
And if they broke down, you knew how to repair them right on spot.
You see that they got other people for that. So I wasn't doing that. I was training people how to use them, not to flip them either. Had to go. One guy was flip a forklift. I was like, dude, you out of your mind, bro. So
what when they would get truckloads in, you'd be taking the pallets off. Is that?
Yeah. I used to do a lot of that too. So that was definitely some hard work. No joke, especially, young buck, fresh out of high school, like 16, 17, like 18-ish. So definitely a lot of hard work, learned a lot of ethics, work ethics and stuff, but it was always cool, and I gotta admit in my lifetime, so far in my life, I've had a lot of people, again, how you come on to people where, man, I can't stand this person or like, well, I've always thank God, I've always had people to help, hey, do this and this, but also to be receptive and listen, okay, and take advice and use it and apply it, and then, make it your own. So, this is just another thing, and yeah, the automotive field has been a thing, especially by the job, like, by the job. And I used to work like that for years, by the job. A lot of times I had to talk to customers myself,
Oh yeah.
And then that would get that one-on-one trust feel for you, especially at a dealership. I used to work at Hyundai a long time ago too.
Oh, okay.
Over at a Hyundai, and learned a lot there too. That was actually a pretty nice shop. That was air conditioned, pretty state of the art back in that day. And service riders. I'm not knocking no service riders.
No, we're gonna have one of them on one day, hopefully. I know one at Victory Lane I'm trying to get on.
Yeah, I know a couple too.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't trying to put the beat.
You'd probably be good at that, right? Because it's people that got to know the industry a little bit and that are good at talking. Yeah. And like I feel like that would have been a good transition. But let's get back to your service rider. Just go.
No, but like on the real, service riders sometimes I ain't trying to knock them. Some they do try to push a little too much on a customer, and it scare customer away. Well, when they scare customer away, well, that's hurting my pocket now. So I had
Yeah.
no problem ever talking with a customer, going to them, hey, listen, man, you legit, you do need brakes. Yo, if you want, I'll bring you. I can't bring you back there. I will. You could watch me from the window. I'll take you one of your brake pads off, and I'll bring it over here and show you, man. I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to dog you. So I always felt like I was able to get a trust with people quick, a connection. And even like when I left that, my wife's her dad had a heart problem, so I ran their business for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he had a heart, so he had to have a heart surgery and stuff, and then so he recovered. And then later, I went into to work on the school board and start working on big diesel stuff. I started doing school buses like that. So then I learned, diesel.
What did you want to make that switch for? Was it just to keep learning, or was it
to keep learning and a new job opportunity? Because I was just gonna do that temporary to her dad, recovered. Because I was kind of a thing. He didn't know he was having a lot of heart problems and stuff.
Sure.
And thank God he's been healthy since. This is like 10 years ago.
awesome?
Yeah, something like that. Like maybe not that, maybe like 8, 9 years ago. So, and so I just left just because of that. I was like, hey, to help out family, because you never know. And I had an opportunity there with the school board with Lee County Schools and learned buses and stuff like that, and no regrets on that. It was actually a pretty cool job. And then a buddy of mine was telling me about the sheriff's department. Like, I'm gonna give that a shot too. So it's been a transition. I've been with the sheriff's department like 7 years now. So it's been pretty awesome. It's been a pretty wild journey in my life. So at least my resume, I got plenty of resumes. So
Sure, bro. That's dope. Hell yeah.
And then
you're still with the sheriff's department, right? Even in the new job, it's still
Lee County Sheriff's. Yeah. So it's pretty intense, pretty awesome. And then on my off days, I do Sarmiento Motorsports, and then also, a lot of I get a lot of vortexes in for tuning. We got some suspension work to do right now for a client that's racing, somebody local. So I had to order parts from and stuff.
And do you just service Florida, Matt, or you do all around the country? How's that work?
You mean for ATV stuff?
Yeah.
Well, dude, worldwide, bro. I have people.
So anyone out there listening, I don't know if we have ATV listeners yet, but I'm sure we will one day. Sarmiento
dirt bikes.
This is your guy.
Yeah, or dirt bikes, or ATVs, dirt bikes, and literally my recent trip to Honduras, I got a lot of interest of people wanting to send in their stuff, and I know it's tough.
You rocking your shirt, walking around, or passing out business cards, or just being yourself, dog.
Just be myself. Hold on a second, I got my shirt. I got gotta know, bro. Gotta know.
Let's go.
No, Honduras was cool. Well, social media, that's a big thing.
Are you Honduran?
No, actually, I am. Both my mom and dad are Cuban, so I was born in
this Italian ass name, and I'm like, he looks Italian, or like maybe I don't know what the fuck's going on here. So you're officially Cuban?
Yeah, my mom and dad were both born in Cuba, legit.
Man.
So yeah, I get a lot of that all the time. Italian, like, oh, bro, you gotta be Italian. Like, nah, always Cuban.
Wow,
bro, like you don't even know, bro. No, yeah, no, Honduras was cool. I have a rider over there. They're really involved in the sport, which is good, and that's great to help grow the sport.
Word of mouth,
the interest like that, and like motocross is like a community, and you could have good ones in the community, bad ones, and you want to be a helpful, positive, and I've really seen that a lot, even on our local race series, which I've been doing for a little bit, and it's pretty cool, and then to be able to mix and mingle people, because you don't know who you're gonna need help with, and I've learned that it's impossible to always do it all, so sometimes you need help. Like I had on my last race here in the States at Dade City, came through the first turn, and dude, it was just an accident. Buddy completely missed the turn, broke the back of my nerf force off, snapped the bolts off, and literally folded my nerf force right into my heel. And dude, I was like, wow, so please don't break nothing. Please don't break nothing. They actually took 2 guys to pull the nerf force off because they're aluminum. No joke. And that race, but thank God there was a welder there at the track at Dade. So we ended up having to break this thing off, take it off. I had to go out and race again because I do 2 classes. Had to go back out with missing a heel guard, and you need that thing for leverage. So that was a little scary race, but I do well, to say the least. Barely, but it was a little scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, this is before Honduras.
Did you used to race more intently back? I don't want to act like you're old, but a little bit more back in there. Have you always been more of like the guy that's running the show?
I would say especially learning, because I didn't really have like any teachers. Like when I first started getting into motocross, like I don't know, like 7-8 years ago, it was just for the thrill of the sport,
Are you like a big adrenaline junkie? Like you always want to go fast in your car and all that? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude, come
See,
on,
I don't really
bro.
have that gene, and my brother's always had that, so I've always been
Yeah.
curious about that.
Yeah. So it's a good and bad gene. Like it's like if you have that gene, if you want to say that, if you have it, I'm not saying I'm, you know, Fast and the Furious material back in the day, or anything like that, but any
You might
speed movie
be.
you could think of,
I'm living your life a quarter mile at a time. I can see it in you.
you could, well, or one moto at a time. And so
Okay.
that's it, one moto at a time. And well, you learn. So that's the thing. Motocross to me transitioned to this is a learning curve because I had a lot of people always tell me, oh yeah, bro, I ride woods, like recreate, like weekend warriors. So I'm like, bro, T ride motocross, you about to learn. Now unless you
When you
do
say
GS.
motocross, is it all the bunny hills with the turns, or exactly what is motocross?
So outdoor
Because I watch it,
motocross.
but I might be like the ignorant person who just says like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
know motocross," but there might be a
right.
technical. You know what I mean?
Motocross is literally usually an outdoor track. That means it's going to get affected by the weather,
Yep.
the sun,
Rain or
the
shine,
heat,
it goes
rain or
on.
shine. The only time they stop a motocross event is if it's lightning outside.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dang.
Or if it's unrideable. And this year they've made it go through. They've done some of these nationals and dirt bike or ATV where it was a foot or two of standing water on race machines.
And those tires are relatively skinny. I mean, they're not very thick, are they?
On a dirt bike, no. I mean, dirt bikes, they do pretty good in it. It's just the ruts they create, especially when it's muddy. I mean,
I'm just trying to imagine, pivoting and turning in that mud. If it's sloshy like that, like what kind of
bro, and then you
traction?
try to corner, dude, on a dirt bike, it is very hard. Very hard. So if anybody has never rode a dirt bikes are great because they're a lot lighter and they jump a lot easier in the air than a four-wheeler. And I'm not saying I'm a dirt bike pro by any means. I mean, I specifically, focus more on ATVs, but I've had dirt bikes. I've used them on the track,
Yep.
and I've always had a lot of fun with them. They're great machines. They're awesome. It's just whatever gets you going,
Whatever floats your boat, baby.
Yeah, whatever. It's whatever, I know guys that are down with three-wheelers. Now that's, to me, like, dang, bro, you got it on the next level, bro. Do you take a turn too wrong?
They're cucks.
Bro.
Those are the guys watching their wives get railed. It's all right. Next.
No, bro. No, three-wheelers, bro. Dude, if that thing goes sideways, there's no recovery. You're gonna die, bro. Like an ATV could go sideways in here, and you could actually like recover that. Or if a dirt bike goes, if you're comfortable, you got to be loose. You're comfortable, you could save that a lot easier. With a three-wheeler, bro, like you take a turn wrong and just go.
Do they do competition shit with the three-wheelers, or are they just recreational?
No, they here locally they race three-wheelers too.
Really?
In our local racers, they do dirt bikes,
damn.
ATVs, three-wheelers, and they do buggies as well. It's like it's pretty sick, bro.
Where you go, do they do like where you're doing your dirt bike and ATV stuff? Do they do all that stuff at the same spot, or is it all over the place?
Same.
Yeah.
So and that's how motocross is. Whatever the track gives you, that's all you get. And so as the dirt changes every lap, the track is changing.
Yeah.
So you have to be very adaptive to the track. It doesn't matter what machine you ride, your adaptability. That's this shows the skill level of a rider. Now how fast you can go, how you could adapt to the track. So it's not just gonna be a simple straight road course, so to speak. It's very physical. It's very it can be very exhausting as well, and it's also very mental. So your mental disposition. So that's what I'm saying. You got to use a lot of this too. So you got to be smart. You could be a lot faster than somebody else, just make a lot of bad decisions and fall back. Versus somebody who's, like I always try to teach, be smooth and steady through the corners. And when I build engines, I try to do the same thing: a smooth, steady engine. Now, if a rider wants more, I could do whatever they want. But most people, they usually go with my recipes a lot better. Like but you
gotta trust the chef.
Because it makes more sense. A guy who actually rides it, and my biggest thing is from my objective is, so from the start, from point A to point B to the first turn, is to get that rider from point A to point B as fast as I could. What they do in between that's 100% on them, and how they use it in between each turn, that's all on them. It comes down to their skill. So motocross it's dope, bro. It's something. So if nobody's ever checked it out, it's pretty intense. It's fun.
Man,
it's a lot of fun.
So sick. Is it always, when there's those competitions going on, is it always a set amount of laps that they're doing, or is every competition different? How does that work?
So like it can be different. Like here locally, what they try to do is they try to get it figured out what they do is they figure like the track size and like how many laps they can get. So it's usually like amateur racing, like it can be like 3 to 5 laps. Locally, it's like usually like here like 3 to 4. And it also depends on your class. Yep. Some classes you could get more laps. Like if you're like an expert class, they'll give you like 6 or so. When I went to Honduras, dude, no joke, and I thought it was the sickest thing ever. Every class got 20 minutes. I was like, dude, as far as on practice on Saturday, I was on A class, we got 30 minutes. Like that's sick. On race day, We were doing 12 minutes each clap. We were doing 12 plus 1. So I guess as the amount of entries, but they say if they have less entries, they'll do 15 plus 1. So you get 15 minutes. So you're out there 15 minutes, as much as you can do. At the end of 15 minutes, and you still have one more lap to do. The white flag comes out, means you have one more lap to do. So understanding the signs and all that stuff. So I was like, nah, that was sick. And that's my kind of, I was like, I'm digging that, bro. That was sick. So
is that a pretty big spectator sport, Hunt? Like, did you went there solely for one of your teammates or one of your riders?
Yeah.
And they just had big competitions going around. So do they get a lot of crowd turnout going there or what?
Oh, dude, the crowds. I mean, it's a different country. So, and they were saying a lot, people can't be in the track, this and that, but on the sides where people are like coming in, like there's people actually, I've seen some people running into the racetrack with pit boards and stuff like that. Like, this is crazy, bro.
What was the venue like? Was it like I hate to sound so like American, was it in a jungle? Was it like a closed venue? What was the deal?
Yeah, so it was actually at the Capitol, and the name of the racetrack was called La Lomita. That means like little hill or little hills, but Lomitas would be little hills, but little hill, La Lomita. And it was pretty cool. It was the material was so different here than Florida. I mean, the ground was too hard.
The dirt composition.
And the thing is, so it was like more built like on a hillside, so to speak. And then like the spectator areas went higher up than that. But so you could actually get a good visual down on the track. But like a lot of people don't realize, like they were watching like my lives like that. Like the start was like already on a slanting slope and then slanting into the track. So when you come into that thing, you're hauling and you have to make a crazy railing right-hand turn. Like, and you're going so fast, you do not have any more traction. You cannot give it any more throttle because if you're barely feathering the throttle and you're about to come off track or completely lose it. So you're like riding the fine line of traction. Even the dirt bikes too. They're trying to use the high side of the berm to get, more of like a centrifugal pull. Even on the ATV, like, use the berm centrifugally to get centrifugal force around the berm. And you're right there on the edge, man. It was sick, dude. It was nasty. And even some of the turns, like, so they had this step, like small step up, and you'd hit a left-hander into another left into a step down, and you're going uphill, and the traction isn't there. But when you're fighting with somebody for position, you're racing somebody. Now you're trying to really, dart through the track, and it's hard. It's very hard. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was sick. It was a great experience,
That's awesome, man. You have any of those videos going up on YouTube? I would love to see.
I'm gonna try and put my first moto, because my second moto, the rain and stuff that, and it didn't. It sucked anyways. I mean, because I had a mechanical. Literally, they had it was pretty awesome. There was a national champion that came out. He was an international champion, and he stopped racing for a while. And then he came out, and the guy was crazy fast. Steven Domo, and so it was an honor to race with somebody of that caliber, and it was great. Me and him had an awesome first moto. His start's great, his machine was going good. So I mean, I had, it doesn't matter. I mean, I was on a loaner machine, so whatever, I did the best I could with what I had, and I just couldn't thread a good pass on him. But when I saw some of the videos, like from other people, like, dude, we were like over half a track on the rest of the field. So we're trucking, and I have people still messaging me like, dude, that was the best race we've seen in a long time, this and that, when you got to come again. So I was like, bro, I'm about to start putting y'all want me to come again? Hook a brother up with a plane ticket, because it wasn't cheap, but
sure. Was that a super expensive flight out there or what?
I wasn't like terrible, but I think it was like,
did you do round trip or 1-on-1?
Yeah, it was like a $500 round trip. And
damn, dude, I just fucking flew to New Jersey and it was $585.
I mean, hey, good hunters. Well, my bag
or what?
I flew out on Spirit. My bag was
give my man a round of applause, guys. We still got a Spirit soldier in the building.
I got Spirit.
I used to always do Spirit. And I got the American Airlines card, and I've always been flying American since then.
I mean, whatever. It was I think that was the only flight I was able to book for that time frame.
How long of a flight was that?
It wasn't that bad. It was like under 3 hours. I think on the way there it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. On the way back, dude, the pilot got us there. It was supposed to be like a 2 hour and 25-minute thing. I think the pilot got us there like in 2 hours, bro. He was, I don't know. They were running a little behind what he made at the time. So I was like, dang, bro, we're off the plane already. We're landing in Fort Lauderdale.
What were they all masked up in Honduras, or was it pretty lax there?
It was like outdoors, it was lax, but like indoors you need to be, it was, mandatory and stuff like that. And
so how'd that going? All right, respect.
Well, and I mean, which I could appreciate, some of that, just because there's a lot of people, population of that, and then to travel there, you had to have all of your shots. So it's whatever. It's whatever,
For sure.
Yeah. So
no big deal.
Yeah, to have all your soul, like whatever, no big deal. And it's like I saw a bunch of people that are, dying, coughing, and sick, and this and that. Like everywhere I went, everybody was like chill, whatever, just normal. it's whatever.
Yep.
There's hand san. So even though there's different countries, there's hand sanitizers everywhere. There's a lot of stuff everywhere, and
Wildlife,
chilled.
dog. Hell
Yeah, it
yeah.
was chilled, bro. It was chilled. It's like whatever. But motocross, everybody's because you're outside, it's like whatever. Some people wear masks, and I just took one. I was like, whatever.
In the
we're
dirt.
outdoors. Yeah.
So
whatever.
going back to the mechanic world, dude, I want to just we only got 9 minutes left. You can see the running timer. So when we get to about 2 minutes, I'll just do an outro. Dude, it goes quick. Yes. I told you.
Bro.
So a lot of people don't have the luxury of knowing a good mechanic, or like you growing up, your dad always worked on cars. So if you guys had family car troubles, you didn't really have to go to like the Meineke, the Grease Monkey. Now, can we do some kind of power rating, or like, what are the do's and don'ts of like, what kind of advice can you give the listeners out there that may not know, like me, I don't know if my car has an issue and I don't know what's going on with it. Where do you take the car? Where do you not take the car? Give us some little things that we can look at and kind of avoid, if you can shine some light.
So that's a really good question. A lot of people ask me all the time, and like, where do you take? I'm like, bro, I take it to me, myself, and I.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You had that luxury. Like growing up, your dad did it, so you got, and like if you had an issue, he would teach you. I'm sure, but like my dad was always handy with cars. But I'm like, at this point, I just want to pay someone to help me, but I don't want to get screwed. So like, help the listeners out here. Let's. The Meineke, the Grease Monkeys, the Jiffy Lubes, they're jacking the prices up big time. They got the worst mechanics. Is that how that goes, or what's?
Unfortunately, it is that way. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even trying to knock nobody. My neighbor, legit, she comes by still, just to drop off their car for oil change, and then every time she comes back, hey, do I need anything? No problem, all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know why they rotated the tires, and the best tires, being a front wheel drive vehicle, why were the best tires on the front? They just put them on the back, especially here in Florida. It's like common sense,
you guys are listening to things we don't know,
Exactly. Well, a front wheel drive vehicle, the best tires need to be on the front because it's pulling and steering at the same time. If it's a rear wheel drive, you kind of want a little bit better traction in the back, Exactly. The laws and the physics of the machine.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, that's tough. It's almost like you need to kind of like know somebody. That's the biggest thing. So for all you listeners out there, to know somebody, but also it's a common sense thing, legit, if you were just in for service and you had all your your air filters to like change to that, and you go back in 5,000 miles later for service, believe me, you're not gonna need all your air filters, your cabin filters, and tires again.
But it's their job to tell you that you do, right? And I'm like, when I would first go get oil changes, I would go to the fucking shittiest places, and they would say, do you want this? And I would know, like, yeah. And then like I would tell my dad, and he would chew my ass. I'm like, you don't fucking, and he knew, but I didn't know.
Right.
Like growing up, he always had like a mom and pop shop, local mechanic that he trusted.
Yeah.
But I see all the time, you go to all these chain places and they're always so full and packed. And I'm like, but then they have the reputation that I even know of that I don't want to say it, but you know where I'm kind of going.
They're screwing the people. So
yeah. And I'm just trying to get my listeners to not get screwed. And I feel like we got an expert in the field. So we're trying to find like the little things that you might see if someone does a Google search, like what's something to look out for, you know what I mean? Like the little things.
Yeah. So the biggest things to look for, like I try to tell a lot of people, is like, well, keep good records of your vehicle. Okay. Let's say we're starting off with a brand new vehicle, right? Brand new vehicle. And legitimately on the average, most vehicles, and it depends on the conditions. If it's really dusty conditions, a vehicle might need, an air filter and a cabin air filter. And I always say, just do them together, like 15,000 miles, or 15K to 30K. Okay. Right. Somewhere in that time frame, dude. That's what I'm saying. If you go in and let's say you're doing your oil change, let's say every 5,000 miles, as an example, or whatever. I believe in every 5,000 miles with synthetic oil is not a problem. I'm an AMS oil dealer. I go 10,000. That's just me. I don't know what to tell y'all, whatever. I keep it simple.
Let's go.
Legit.
So you can't get away with 10,000 every 10,000.
Oh, all the time. I do it all the time. My wife's car, my wife's van, bro. The people that bought my wife's van were like, this thing runs like a Mac because it's the original engine. I sold my wife's van with 174,000 miles. The people that bought it, they have racked it to 220, and they said it still runs amazing. What do you think kind of oil it has? AMS oil. My old 6.0, I never had problems with it. AMS oil, but so the quality of
this podcast is brought to you by AMS oil.
It is brought to you by AMSOIL Inc. So I have to put that out there on AMSOIL. No, like legit. That's the other thing too. The quality of things that you put into your vehicle. So if you put low grade, and I hate to say it, but a lot of these places, they put in a lot of low grade trash. Simple.
They're buying bulk and they're just trying to get the cheapest price possible.
Correct.
It's like, you guys think you're eating good shrimp when you're going to a restaurant? That fucking company that fired me, Sun Shrimp, at least they were selling fresh, good shrimp. Now, maybe I didn't get the sales that they fucking wanted, But I would go to these other restaurants, but you guys are just serving these freezer burn, disgusting brown shrimp, and we got these beautiful pink All right, whatever. Back to the cars.
We're going back to the cars. Well, and what you're saying though is right. It is exactly correct. So it's like what you're eating, and I can tell you this as a racer, what you put in your body, that makes all the difference. Everything's high, fructose, corn syrup stuff. If you're putting that kind of stuff in your body, if you're eliminating that stuff out of your body, it keeps your nutrition good and keeps your energy levels good when you're active. Well, it's the same thing with your vehicle. If you're putting the wrong oils, the wrong things, and it's very simple. Just look in your owner's manuals. Not everything takes 10W30. Not everything takes OW, 40. Not everything takes 5W20. You need to know what that vehicle takes and the correct oils, but good oils. I can't stress enough, the better qualities of things you put in, the better. Like I never had problems with my 6, so I sold it with 210,000 miles. And I think all it did all its life is
you selling these cars with hella miles. You're absolute. Let's go.
Bro, when I sold, and I honestly was going to keep my 6, so just some guy just gave me the right offer because I had 2 trucks at the time. I was like, you know what? I don't need this other truck, like whatever. And it was some young guys, this thing is, he's like, I've never had a diesel run this good. It's like, if you take care of it, yeah, it'll run good, And
that just shows you're always taking good care and staying on top and maintaining.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm not always working on my stuff. It's what you put in for maintenance. Yes, if it needs an air filter, put an air filter in. Because what happens when your air filter is dirty? Your fuel economy goes down because the engine's trying to struggle harder. So if you put your hand around well, same thing. You choke down your airway, you're not gonna be able to perform good. Of course, if you're always on the throttle all the time, when you're taking off out of light, of course your fuel economy is gonna suck, and your tire's gonna burn up. You're asking more from the vehicle. So your driving habits, relatively realistic. Because I get it. I also I commute every day to work, or not every day, but like when I do have to work, I have to commute like 17 miles, each way. I get it. I commute and I'm out there flooring it, hot rodding my truck, out there doing burnouts at the light, And I see some people.
That's the other thing, right? These guys that are jumping on their gas, always accelerate, and then they get up to someone constantly jumping on your brakes, Matt. What's that doing? That's causing real harm.
Well, absolutely. One, you're jeopardizing your safety plus the other drivers. But two, how about when you're warping your rotors? Hey, all mechanics love when they come in for brakes because, dude, that's money right there. Bang, 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 cha-ching, cha-ching.
Is that one of your easiest jobs, you would say?
It can be. I've done so many brakes. It's like so much brake tests, like nasty. But yes, in the mechanic role, that's an easy sell. They make good time on brakes. Yeah. So the normal book time is like an hour, sometimes 1.4 hours, or 1.4, for R&R brake rotors and pads, and put it back on. Most guys can do that in 20 minutes. I
was gonna say you can do that because that's something I'm starting to learn from these guys. Is you get booked for a job that takes 2 hours and you can get it done in an hour or 30 minutes. I was talking to a guy that works at brakes today, and he'll do jobs where he gets booked for 4 hours and he can have them done for 45 minutes sometimes. It's just constantly doing that, so it's just racking it up.
Exactly. So you do get kind of a little burnt out on brakes sometimes, but so that's what I'm saying. So when you come with warped rotors, all this stuff, not only is now you're gonna have to spend more money in the shop, if you're not doing it yourself, but then also too, you're increasing what you need for stopping distance. When your brakes are pulsating, that vehicle cannot stop correctly.
Yep.
So when you need to emergency stop, you need more runway room. But when your runway room is like this, the vehicle will not stop safely enough because the brakes are pulsating.
I used to do it all the time when I was commuting to Naples, dude. And one day on my drive home, I was driving my fucking ghetto cruiser, my Buick Park Avenue. Brakes just gave out. I had to fucking turn down the street, dude. And luckily I was able to navigate through a neighborhood. I literally couldn't stop the car. I didn't have an emergency breaker. I couldn't find it. And I was just navigating through it, and I pulled out right in front of a tree. So luckily I got lucky. But under a minute left, Matt. I don't want to get cut off. So just want to take this time to thank you so much for coming out. And real quick, tell the people it's Sarmiento Motorsports on YouTube.
Sarmiento Motorsports on YouTube. Sarmiento Motorsports LLC. You can find me on that. Also, if you need dyno tuning, motorcycle dyno tuning, you can look me up on DynoJet's website. I'm also on their website as well. So, pretty easy to get a hold of me nowadays. So awesome. usually Facebook Messenger or Instagram, do it on the gram. We do it for the gram,
Let's do it, baby.
And that's it, brother. So thanks for having me on here, bro.
Hey, man, it's been a pleasure. I hope you listen. Check it out. And thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate it, Frank. Later, brother. Peace.
Man.